Okay, so I want to do this psychological emotional energy thing again, and I have a different perspective that I wanted to think about. Now, the thing is, I've always said when people are taken care of, then they can actually have a higher level of psychological and emotional energy instead of being shoved down and pushed down into the dumps all the time, which that pushes people into depression. So when people lose their income, they lose their jobs, they lose their home, they have no place to live. And then on top of it, American citizens, and I'm going to include the military in this too, because I've been a former military spouse or lived around the military. And so they have been pushed down into that their selves related to having things taken away from them because their pay does not increase as fast as Wall Street pay increases. So it's a fact that when people are taken care of and they have access to more money, and we don't have inflation, then people feel secure in their home. But when we have an economic crisis like we have right now with inflation, and people are not, someone gave me another word yesterday, I don't remember what it was, but people aren't able to make ends meet. They're living paycheck to paycheck. So I'll just use some of the buzzwords that I've heard throughout my whole life because I've been a recipient of that. I know as a military spouse, when I had kids, there were times we were just eating beans. That's all we could afford was beans. Something I just stuck water in, reconstituted the beans, and that's what we ate. Actually, it was beans and onions is what we ate. That's all we could afford at that time because we were being pushed down and shoved down. Often that's what would happen because we've had inflation year over year. And so, but I wanted to add another angle at this. So I know when I went to college, the teachers always kept us hyped up of, yes, we're going to find a job. The jobs are out there. You go, you can do anything. So it's the same principle as you have a kid nowadays. They're probably hyping them all up to go out into the world. And for me, when I was a kid, it was like getting our diploma. So I went back to college, I was close to 40 when I went back to college, and I was hyped up and thought I was going to get a job, and that didn't happen. I didn't get a real job. I didn't get the big pay. The only time I got the big pay was on YouTube. Then I started learning. It's like, oh my gosh, this is inflation. My kids, everybody else can't do this. If there's not enough money to go around, everybody else can't do that. Now we have inflation. It's like, how do we stop this monster and bring it back down to a level playing field? How do we do this?